Hello again, this is the second episode of the Clojure Quip screencast. In this episode I will show you how to use clj-async-profiler for quick profiling of your code and identifying potential bottlenecks. So let's get started. clj-async-profiler is a Clojure wrapper on top of JVM Async Profiler, which is a low overhead sampling profiler. You can find more on the GitHub page. And let's now dive in the code. Here in the beginning are some links which you may find useful. This is my pull request for adding some more options for generating SVGs if you have bigger screens. So let's use simple examples from the clj-async-profiler blog post. Here we have a simple test sum function, then to compare we have testdiff function, and then we try to just call them in a while loop in this burn CPU function. So to start with, we can list some supported event types that the profiler supports. It's not that interesting for us at this moment, but these are the basic events supported on my Mac OS X operating system. Sadly, that there are not so many events as those on the Linux system, so you can get more details if you run on Linux. You can start profiler just it's worth mentioning that it's system-wide, so it profiles everything everything runs in your Java process. So you can start it by just calling prof start, then calling your task, and then prof stop, or alternatively, you can give it the form itself and run it with profile. This is just the macro, and it basically calls start and stop at the beginning or at the end of the function. So it still profiles everything, all computation running in your Java process, not just this simple form. Right, and this will generate a profile report and SVG file by default, and you can easily serve them by running a simple HTTP server on the given port. So let's try to profile. I will switch to REPL for a moment. You see that it started profiling and just trying to burn CPU cycle is already done. Just to recap, here's what it tries to do: test sum, burn CPU in a cycle. And let's now switch to the browser. I will make it larger, and these are some of my previous profiling sessions. If I refresh, I can see that I have a new one, and I got a flame graph. This is just to show it all. It's quite unreliable, but this is the whole flame graph on my big monitor screen, and I can see that test sum and test diff takes roughly the same amount of time, but this is just because I did a basic optimization, and here I called it with double to avoid using closure ratios. If I comment that out, and I could run it again, but I will just show you one of my previous results. So this is what you get if you use those examples from Async Profiler blog post. Then you will see something like this, and I will make it larger. Now when I click test sum, you can see down in the bottom that it takes only less than 1% of total time, but test diff takes roughly around 97% of total time. So this is a nice quick visualization, and you can see that there's some GCD greatest common divisor computation going on, and that the ratios are quite slower compared to double division. Okay, so that's it. As always, you can find this on my GitHub. You can check the links to find out more and just experiment with your clj-async-profiler and see if you can use it to gain more insights in the performance of your code.